Take a couple of good deep breaths. Nice, easy inhale and exhale. Body's relaxed. We're happy to be here. Intention for today is returning home. There's been a couple of trips I've been on and, good fun stuff while we're gone, but just that feeling of coming home, or like even after a work day and then you come home, it's just something different. Just a special kind of comfort that you can completely relax. You can eat your own foods. You can do the things that you like to do and that you need to do, like for your body. You can shower in your own shower. It feels different coming home. And so I wanted to take this idea and apply it to our bodies, where maybe sometimes we work a big portion of our day completely oblivious to our body. It's like it's carrying us around and that's about it. But it's just this idea today of returning home, coming back to presence, back to mindfulness, listening to the stretches. Sometimes we're going to use kind of circular movements to, like, before we pause in the stretch, just to give ourselves a chance to loosen up all the surrounding areas and then just relax deeply into the muscles. So in these ways, we'll play with coming home today. That'll be our little theme that will carry us on. So with this, let's start to tug the knees into the chest. Just rock around a little bit first and foremost. Loosening up low back. And let's release the left leg. Just drop it all the way long on the ground. Both hands hug around this right knee. Hug it into the right shoulder for just a moment. Then just at your own pace, slowly start to rock this knee open to right and over to left. Repeat that a couple more times. Eventually we'll end in the twist with that right knee heading over to the left. But loosen up the joint just a little bit first. Try to feel how the muscles are, maybe they haven't been in a twist or in a little hip stretch like this in a while. So this is just a chance to kind of loosen things up before we settle into that beautiful depth of the twist. Sooner or later, you can pause, just enjoy the twist. Maybe your left hand is resting on that right knee just to add some weight to it, if that's helpful. As we start to return the right hip back down to the ground, take it to a figure four stretch. So right ankle to left thigh, set up the hug around left. Releasing left leg back long to the floor for just another moment. Let this right leg extend upward to the sky. Grab on where you can reach, pull it in. You know me, I love hamstrings, so kind of waking that area up for a moment. For me, that's one of the biggest spots that I feel like when I'm not present, this area just naturally gets tight because my sitting postures tend to be kind of cross-legged or, just kind of scrunched in. So giving the hamstrings a chance to stretch like this is huge for my body. Okay, and let's drop that right leg all the way down to ground. Left knee comes in, hug it into the left shoulder for a moment. Good. 3 or 4 rounds, passing the knee open to left. Across the body over to right. Feel how that can ease around the hip joint. Maybe after the next one, you're ready to pause in the twist. Just leave that knee crossing over the body to the right. Perhaps right hand rests on the left knee for some weight. Not pressure, but just letting gravity do its job more effectively with the weight. When the hip returns back down, figure 4, that left ankle just comes onto the right thigh, hug around right. And right leg long on the ground, left leg up to sky. Hamstrings, just that initial waking them up. Try to find lots of extension in the top leg if possible, and then invite that leg as close as it wishes to go right now. As we release this, we're going to take a bridge pose with the block right under our feet. This in a way can take us home by taking us out of the normal so we can feel what our body is doing. So block under the feet, hands on the floor beside the hips. And then we start to press the feet into the block. The hips lift up, rise up 1 vertebrae at a time, and roll all the way back down. We'll take a few rounds of that. So roll up, start at your tailbone, lift, and return down. If you want to increase the challenge more, you can bump that block up to the middle height. So your choice. That one can make it so that you feel that sensation of everything that's doing its job even more. Gives you a new sensation moving up your shoulders and the lift. Let's take at least 3 more. That's one of the things that we'll play with today as well, is really feeling our feet in contact with the ground. So often we just walk, and it's like we've walked so much by this point, we don't even feel our feet touching the earth. Just feeling that sensation. Good. When the hips are back down next, grab your block. We're going to do another bridge pose and slide the block under the hips. So it could be small or medium. Only go for a tall block height if you really have a deep back bend. The small or medium is usually plenty. Make sure it's not in bumpy vertebrae. It's on the hips, the sacral spot, that flat part. So just enjoy a few breaths right there. Slide right leg forward. For me, I notice the psoas muscles, the front of the hip. It kind of pops that muscle up and out while pulling it in a stretch. So enjoy that sensation. Gratitude for our psoas. So important for walking. Coming home to psoas. And sliding right heel back in. Take left. Then from here, we're just enjoying the back bend. So that could mean both feet slide in and we're just in this lifted bridge pose. Or it could be all the way to the extent of both heels back to straight. That one would be the deepest version. So it doesn't even have to be all the way in. You could just kind of walk the feet a little bit forward. So find the spot that's not too intense for low back. But you're allowing your back to have that really good arch through the lower section. That can be helpful if you tend to kind of round your low back into your chairs. That's how our cars are made. It's kind of like a bucket scooping for your back. So I tend to, put a rolled up blanket right behind my low back. So it helps to allow this low back arch. And we'll prepare to exit. So if your feet are forward, start to slide them back in. Take your time. Eventually you'll be ready to lift the hips up and then return hips to ground. Here it takes my sacrum at least a moment to return back home. So that could look like windshield wipers, just rocking the knees left and right. It could look like hugging the knees in, or it could even be a full happy baby, just whatever spot helps out your sacrum. I consider that movement we just did almost like chiropractic work for my sacrum. So I always love how it feels right afterwards. It's almost like I aligned it better. Good. So in that sacrum, take as much time as you need, but when it feels good, let's work our way back up to a seated place. We'll extend right leg forward. Take a huge inhale. Exhale, lean over that nice hamstring. Rising up, keep this left leg as it is, but tuck the right leg backward. Good. I'll take a moment for the quadricep first. So plant the hands behind you. You'll start to lean back to the point where you feel that the front of the left thigh stretching. So for some people, that means just leaning back and even kind of scooping your tailbone, and that's it. Some people might lean onto the block or even walk all the way down to elbows. It just depends. Give that spot a couple of good breaths. Bring back up to plant the hands. We're going to take a movement almost like a cat-cow with a twist from this position. So we'll start off with right hand at the right hip, left hand kind of behind us. So for the part where we curl in, we're facing forward, curling in. That's an exhale. Inhale. Twist over your left shoulder, facing to the back. Take it like that with your breath. So inhale, exhale, face forward, fill in. Inhale, twist back. Flow with the speed of your breath. Few good rounds. Another 3. 2. 1. And then stay in the twist. Bump your right hand to that left knee. Just gaze up. Release, return forward. Switch it out such that right is tucked in, left is extending forward. Exhale to rise, engage the back muscles, come into that. Exhale, tilt forward. When you can't keep it straight anymore, that's when you release. Okay, rising up. Tuck left leg back. Walk your hands behind you, maybe bump to a block or all the way to elbows. You're getting to the quad stretch, this time for front of the left side. And back up. Left hand starts at the hip, right hand behind. Take our exhale, curl in forward, and inhale, twist over right shoulder, or a few rounds like that. Three. 2. 1. Stay in the twist, bump the left hand to the right. Please. You unwind the left leg, take both feet to cobbler. You choose if the feet are further forward or closer in right now. Lengthen up to tilt forward. When you can't stay straight any longer, that's when you can release the weight of the head down. Tucking the hands back in, roll up. Let's take the knees all the way underneath the body. Normal cat pose. Follow your breath. You need to add in intuitive wiggles anywhere just to help your body out. Go for it. Another huge inhale. And exhale. Using the hips over the knees. Start to walk the hands forward to puppy pose. You can either rest the forehead or the chin, depending on which is more comfortable for your body. And then allow the back to arch down. Open the shoulders. So much good stuff happens here. Start to let the hands walk backwards on the ground so that you're just naturally shifting back into a child pose. You could stay here a bit longer if you wish, whenever you're ready for a downward facing dog. Spread the fingers wide. Press into all the finger pads as you start to lift the legs. A nice movement can feel really good here. Stay here as long as it feels hopeful. Eventually, let's make our way up to top of mat, forward fold. Stay cross, circle the arms up to sky, slight back fold. Hands down to heart. Just allowing our feet to stay relaxed on the ground. We're going to shift to one side. So shift your weight over left. Feel the foot relaxed in that shape. So not gripping, not like grabbing, arching. Try to spread it wide. And shift your weight over to right. Same thing, foot relaxed. Shifting back to left. Try to keep the foot relaxed as you lift the right knee. Any amount. The toes can just be barely off the ground. Try to feel the foot relaxing. Spine lifting. And switch. Shift your weight easy over to right, float left. Try to feel the foot relax. If you need to like rest the other one for a moment, just sort of get back to that relaxed spot and then float it, that's fine. Good. Pressing it down. Make the hips like a hula hoop. So huge circles in one direction. A few good rounds, loosening up all the tight stuff here. Feel where it's tight for you too. Maybe it's when you go forward, that's the stretch that we did on the ground. Or maybe there's a side spot. I'll go ahead and reverse directions. Beautiful. Back upright. Very tall. Circle the arms up. Arch back. Exhale, forward fold. Left. So plant the hands. Let's take a flow. Step the feet back. Kneeling or not, or chaturanga. Back bend of your choice. It could just be dropping elbows to the ground for sphinx or a nice cobra. Child pose or down dog. Eventually, at your rate, let's come forward to top of that. Exhale, come to rise. Thumbs down to heart. Let's take our block close up to the top. This one's there for us. Good. So adding on another step with our feet balancing, shift weight over left. Pull the foot relax. This is our baseline. Shifting foot to right, pull it relax. Shifting to left. See if you can keep it relaxed. Float to right. Finger right, same thing. Float to left. The foot relax. And shifting back to left, tree pose. Rotate the right knee open. Even stay with kickstand for a moment if you need to keep the foot relaxed. And then as long as it can stay relaxed, maybe you let the foot fly. There's these little tendons kind of right here that will pop out if you're wobbly a lot. So try to imagine those tendons. You're not letting them move at all. You're letting them stay. Only if you've got that relaxed, but up to this point, maybe throw the arms. Easy release, shift weight, start with the relaxed foot. Maybe just stay with kickstand for a little while as you keep the foot relaxed. And maybe the foot starts to climb even just a little bit. Maintain relaxed foot. Notice if you're taking on tension somewhere else to keep it relaxed. So drop that as well. Come home. Like, hello, foot. Thank you for all you do. Release. And let's take our block for a moment into the hands. Just shifting to a new spot of our body. Sometimes we get so heady if we're focused on one spot for too long. So getting to a new spot, push into your block. And then just allow yourself to, while you're pushing, slowly lift that block up above head. Keep pushing, slowly lower it. And feel how your feet can just take a relaxed spot here. Push harder if you can. And down. One more. Up. Stay above head. Keep pushing harder if you can. Lots of strength for biceps, shoulders. Lower it one more time in front of belly. Push hardest. This is the last spot here. One more inhale. Push harder. Exhale. And release. The block is just set up at the top. Clasp hands behind back for a moment. Let yourself bend the knees, set your belly onto thighs, and then let the arms try to stretch behind your back. At some point, release the hands down. Maybe the legs go a bit straighter. And take the flow, inhale, half lift. Sometimes the hands travel the feet back. From this point, you could always choose just the down dog or the child pose instead, but otherwise take the flow. Your down dog if you're not there already. Shift your weight over to right. Left leg lifts high. Try to stack the hips and the toes behind your back. And unwind from that normal three-legged dog and then step left foot in between your hands. Back heel rotates down. Heart roll the arms open, warrior two. Beautiful. Extended side angle. To reverse. Repeating a few times. See if you can add a breath sequence to it. With exhales and then inhales here. So 3 more. Good. Back to warrior two. And then turn the toes to the long edge of the mat, hands to hips. Forward fold. As you forward fold, take a straight spine at first. When you can't go any further, let the head release down. The spine can be a bit more rounded. You can choose an arm position that works, or sometimes when I'm here, I can try to see if I can get the crown of my head to touch the block, since we have it today. If the high height is easy, go to middle height, or even try to go for low height, making your spine have to reach just a little bit. Good. We'll prepare to rise. So lift the head and then bend the knees. Roll your way up. Beautiful. Heel toe together once or twice and then pivot the toes forward for pyramid. So the back heel should be all the way down, 2 legs straight. And hands at the hips just to keep them square as we bend forward. At the halfway point, hands to the shin. You can maybe use block for the right hand or use the floor. The big thing is keeping that front leg straight if you're doing nothing else. Now, before we move on, set up your block at the top of the mat, facing kind of the skinny waist back. Good. I'm just preparing us for this, where we're about to flow through this moment. Bend your knees slightly, roll the head up. Let your front foot be relaxed for a moment. As it's relaxed, see if you can slowly shift your weight forward, keeping it relaxed. Float that left knee. Good. Set the left foot directly onto the block. We're shifting our weight up to that side. To loosen up the hip on this left side, we're going to let the left hip lower. So it's like the flat foot can almost touch the ground, and then lift it the left hip as high as you can. So a couple of rounds of that. Lower and lift. We're strengthening some of the abdominal muscles we don't always get into. Lower. Gonna do the right leg? No, that one's straight. It's just the hip. So yeah. So yeah, you got it. You got it. Yep. Yep. 2 more. Up. And down. Up. Down. And then the foot can go to the ground. Switch it so it's ball of the right foot on the block. The other foot can be close or far. It doesn't matter too much, but you're trying to get into calf stretch. So just lean forward. Beautiful. So release the block, rise up. Let's take a flow. Inhale, circle up the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Hatha. Exhale, plant the hands, travel backwards. Take a slow or tug pose or down dog, your choice. And eventually take the down dog shape. Shifting weight to left foot, the right leg rises. Toes behind you with the staff. As you unwind, step right foot in between hands. Back heel rotates down to the ground. Cartwheel warrior 2. Moment pausing in extended side angle. And a moment pausing in reverse. And a few rounds back and forth. Take 2 more. After the last one, pause warrior 2. And turn toes to the long edge, hands to hips. Keep the spine straight. Stretch forward fold. Option to slide the block in at the end under crown of head again. If you like how that helps you give it something to shift into, to lengthen your spine toward. Sometimes that's what takes me home. Like if I kind of am just in the shape, having something like this to give me something new to focus on can be really helpful to bring my body back home. We'll prepare to rise, so lift the head, bend the knees, roll up. Heel toe in once or twice, and then pivot the toes forward. Hips are all the way square forward. Start to pivot the weights. The halfway point, drop hands to shin, maybe left hand to block, maybe hands to floor. Lots of length for that front leg. Lock up toward the top of mat. Have the skinny waist facing back. Good. Then the knees roll up. Kind of relax the front foot. See if you can shift your weight onto that front foot, keeping it relaxed. Maybe the left toe can float okay with it relaxed. And we'll step left onto the block. Good. So both legs stay straight, but shift the hip. So right hip dips down, right hip lifts up. Helps with the transfers of dominance. It also can help with little tiny, almost like I talked about earlier, chiropractic changes to the body. So strengthen so that the bones can align. One more dip. Raise. Stepping right foot back. Place the left ball of foot onto the block. And come forward into left half step. And the knees slightly to rise. We can scoop the block out of the way. Inhale, circle the arms up to sky. Take the right hand to the low back. And then twist over the right shoulder, kind of arching the top hand back as well. And rise. Switch it out. Put left hand to low back, gaze over your left shoulder. Rise. Now lateral, right hand to right side. Lean to the right. Up. The left. Up. Step up to sky. Inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Travel back, child pose down dog or the last flow. And down to knees. Try to tuck all 10 toes. Any amount you can shift your weight back, that's fine. So keeping some weight forward, great. Or all the way stacked over your feet is great. Kind of stretch the fascia of the feet after all that balancing work that they did. Easy breathing. Weight comes forward. You can circle the toes out or count the feet out. Point the toes. Sit back onto the feet. The harder version here is just grabbing the right knee and lifting it. The easier version is lean to the left and then grab your right knee and lift it. The further you lean to the side, the easier it is. You choose. It should be stretching the front of the foot, or the ankle area right now. Yeah. And let's switch. Good. Release. Same thing. Come forward, circle, or count the feet. I'll take a pigeon pose. So if you like to approach that from down dog, great. Otherwise, just keep the right knee underneath your body. Make sure the sacrum's level. You can stay lifted if you wish for a time. You can drop down to elbow sleeping pigeon, your choice. So the feet just relax here. No more effort they need to do. Thank them for taking us home, for all the journey that we've been on. As I think about the Lord of the Rings and those little barefoot hobbit feet, that they just took them on that whole journey. Okay, we're gonna head out. Hands plant, stepped back, kneeling, or a down dog, just whatever movement feels helpful to recover. And whenever you're ready for left knee to slide through, go right ahead. Last good inhale. Exhale. And let's shift weight onto left hip. Bring both knees forward. Do a few windshield wipers for this recovery. Let's do our little foot sequence for just a little gratitude for these wonderful feet, all they've done for us. So if you have a sock on, take your right sock off. Thread your left fingers into your right toes. Sometimes that takes a moment to set up. Yeah, left fingers, right toes. Okay.
Sorry, that's it.
No. Cross right now, so that doesn't help. Okay, so when you get there, fingers inside of toes, you're trying to squeeze your toes inward. That gives the inner parts of the toes a little massage they usually don't get. Okay, release that completely. Now it's the finger effort to spread the toes outward. And release. You can either keep the fingers in or release, but we're going to try to flex the foot back as much as I can. And point forward, curl it in as much as it can. And just a moment of love for your foot. So maybe kind of like warmth to your foot, or I like to, the arch of my foot is my big spot that usually needs some attention. So kind of rub through the arch, kind of knuckles through ball of foot and heel, just kind of just a moment. Gratitude for this foot. If you're using socks, you can resock this side. And we'll get ready for left. Thread the fingers inside. Okay. Yeah, so right hand, left toes. When you get there, toes squeeze in first. Lots of acupressure points along the feet. So this one can be really helpful. Release that. Now fingers spread open. And release that. So with the fingers in or not, your choice, pull the toes back as far as they can. And curl in, kind of point and get the toes curled in as much as you can. Good. And then that last little gift of love for this foot. Maybe it's the arch of the foot or warmth or whatever it is. Okay. As we're preparing for Shavasana, if there's last little gifts your body needs, let's take a moment to do any of those last stretches you need. And eventually we'll be in Shavasana sooner or later. It's your choice when to get there. Are we thinking cooler off for Shavasana? Yeah, okay, cool. Letting the breath flow these next few minutes. More so than anything else, this is our time to return home. All you have to do is breathe. Begin to deepen inhales and exhales. Stretching the body in ways that feel good. Maybe a fetal position for a couple of breaths. Eventually rising up. Eventually coming upright with hands at heart. Turning to the simple intention, returning home. With all the mindfulness that encourages us toward, let's wrap up the time we shared together with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste. Namaste.